Hi everybody, I'm Dina from Catchy Crafts. For those of you who've seen me around the shows, welcome. Now I'm going to be doing a series of little videos that cover some of the techniques that I've been talking about in the shows. Most people have been asking me this for years and I hate being caught on camera, but now at these times I figured, well, I better do that. And also Doug said I couldn't go out gardening unless I did a video, so here I am. And the first video I'm going to do is a very simple technique, and that is colouring. I'm taking everybody back to preschool. We're all at home learning, so we're going back to preschool to learn how to colour in. There are many methods for colouring in, and some of you will have alcohol markers, others watercolour pens, others watercolour pencils. There's a whole gambit, even crayons, whatever, and all those techniques work. However, what I have found is foolproof is colouring in with wax-based pencils. This is a technique that when we had the shop we used to teach to 5-year-olds back in the day when we first started, and the results that 5-year-olds can achieve are amazing, and the parents would always be impressed. That's why we used to start them off with colouring in. Now, for this technique, what you need is some wax-based pencils. Now, I'm using here the Kaiser pencils. We still have 3 sizes of them, but bear in mind that these 2 sizes are running out. These are artist quality pencils. I have to be honest with you, they are not as good as my favourite pencils, which are Prismacolors, but considering Prismacolors cost around $4.50 each, for the price point, these are amazing, and for the type of work that we're doing, they're great. So you're going to need some pencils, you're going to need some paper stumps, and these are the Crafts for You paper stumps, which are, I think, $5.95 for a packet, and you get all the sizes. You're also going to need some pencil blending solution, also from Crafts for You, and I think this is about $9.95 or something like that. You're going to need a stamp that you want to colour in, and Memento ink. Now, do not use StazOn or all the other alcohol-based inks because it will bleed, so Memento ink. Now, I'm going to show you how to achieve a card like this, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. For this technique, if you know how to scribble, you know how to colour. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got blending card. That's another thing I didn't mention, blending card. Now, blending card is just an ultra smooth, dense card. We sell them in packs of 50, and it's a really good smooth card. I love it for using with distress inks. I use it with pencils. I even use it with alcohol markers because it's a really good card and the ink doesn't spread. So it's my go-to card. It's also thick, so it's got a really good dimension. Now I'm using the Hinge Stamper, and I stick the image down. Whoops, need to ink it. And close the lid. So I've got my image. I want it really dark, and my ink is getting a little bit flat. So the beauty about the Hinge Stamper is I can stamp as many times as I want. And this is particularly good if you have a silhouette stamp, you know, the ones with lots of dark areas, such as the Live In Your stamps. I often find that I need to stamp those 3 and 4 times to get the depth of black that I like. So now I've got a perfect impression. So that's that. All right, I'm using a trimmer. If you haven't got a trimmer, I strongly recommend the Crafts for You trimmer. These blades last a very long time and cut up to 6 sheets of card at a time, and it lasts a really long time, and the blades are quite cheap for 2. Now I've got my image here. I'll get a few colours of pencils. These are from the 36 pack. I've just chosen a few colours of pencils for this flower, and I'm just going to start with a couple of colours, and I will scribble. So I'm just going to scribble on. You don't need to be too neat, especially with these. As I said to people, if you want to scribble, if you know how to scribble, you know how to colour with this technique. So because they're waxy, so I'll just scribble a bit there. And you go, how is she going to transform those scribbles into something semi-decent? I might not. It might be a flop. Never know. But at least I can go and garden because I will have tried doing a video. There we go. So just then I'll add a bit of orange. You'll notice that anything I do has a lot of orange. I just find that a very warming and welcoming colour. And it's also the colour, when you use inks, it's the only colour that goes with every colour of the spectrum, at least according to Tim Holtz. And when I did a class with him, he said his favourite colour was Spice Marmalade. That was a long time ago. He might have a new colour now, but because it went with everything. And some yellow on the tips. It's getting a little bit dark here. And my shadow is casting. So you see, I've got a scribble. It's a mess. Might just add a bit more dark in the middle. So I've got an absolute mess. So what I'm going to do next, I'm not going to give anybody that card because, they'll be disappointed. I'll get a paper stump. Now, with a paper stump, I'm going to dip it into the pencil blending solution. And don't put it too far in. Just put it in and count to about 6 or 7 so that the solution comes up. Put the lid back on because you don't want it evaporating. Whoops. And then in a circular motion, you blend those colours together. And I think I've used this, so damn. See, that's what happens when you're trying to do things. If I was on television, I'd have a second take, but no. I was using the wrong stump that actually had the green. That's why you get a bit of brown there, but it's all good. So see how all those little scribbles are now getting blended. I like working in a circular motion. Now, if you've got those colouring in books at home that you probably bought 2 years ago when everybody had a colouring in book, this is an ideal technique for that because the ink does not go through to the back. So it's a really good technique for those colouring in books, whereas alcohol markers, for example, wouldn't work. So once I've got the basis down, I then come down and I can give it a little bit more colour or highlight in the areas, especially where I went brown. Where is the darker one? Here we go. Whoops, I went outside the line. It's all good. I used to have a stamp until someone relieved me of it called Don't Say Oops, Say Handmade, and I really need to make another one of those because I need it often. So get that stump back. I don't really need to redip it. It normally does a whole flower without having to be re-dipped. And I could be working on that image. I could just leave it like that if I wanted, or give it more detail like I did in that one up there. But so you keep on going until you've coloured your image. But you can transform something like that into something like this one. So that's how I would do that colouring in. How easy was that? For this card, the other items that you'll see that I added here, these little pearl drops, that's done with the Cadence dimensional drops that are like this. I think they cost about $2.95 or $3, I'm not exactly sure. They're great. So the tip with this is that you hold the jar upside, like directly vertical, and that way you get a beautiful pearl like those. These aren't quite dry. One of the things that I forgot to do before I put the pearls on was that I was going to put on prills. You just put a little bit of dimensional magic in the middle and then add your prills and you get a 3D effect. But now I have to wait until my pearl drops dry totally before I can put this on. This is a Crafts for You words. We've got several different ones. This is the enjoy, but we've got also joy and peace and happy and love. I think those are the ones. There might be another one. They're really good for a quick and easy card if you just put it in 2 colours. And I'm also using this stamp from Simply Dies, and even though it's a stamp, it's a bridal. It's got bridal greetings. I don't hardly ever use these because I don't know anybody getting married, but I really, really like the stamp, and it was $9.95. So even though I might not use any of these, I still think it's a really good value just for the flower stamp. So just in to recap, if you want to learn how to colour in, you need some good quality wax-based pencils, not watercolour pencils, wax-based pencils, some pencil blending solution, some paper stumps, a memento ink, and a stamp. And you can, colour, well, you can colour books as well if you don't want the stamp, but that's all you need. Everything is available on our website, which is catchycrafts.com.au. We'll also send out an email, and you will have all the links to every product that I've used. Thank you very much, and now I can go and garden. Bye.